Welcome to the Dental Team Podcast. I'm your host, Kiera Dent, and I have this crazy idea that maybe I could combine a doctor and a team member's perspective because let's face it, dentistry can be a challenging profession with those two perspectives. I've been a dental assistant, treatment coordinator, scheduler, biller, office manager, regional manager, practice owner, and I have a team of traveling consultants where we have traveled to over 165 different offices coaching teams. Yep, we don't just understand you, we are you. Our mission is to positively impact the world of dental, and I believe that this podcast is the greatest way I can help elevate teams, grow VIP experiences, reduce stress, and create A-teams. Welcome to the Dental Team Podcast. Hello, Dental Team listeners. This is Kiera. Happy day to you guys. I hope you're doing incredible. I am actually hanging out in a hotel room. I'm back on the road, headed to an office today, and I had a few minutes to pop on the podcast. Guys, I hope that each of you are taking time every single day to look for the snippets of time where you do have time. Yes, I looked at the clock and I thought, ooh, I've got morning huddle coming up, but I also thought, ooh, I have a few minutes here. Why don't I try and maximize it? And as I've kind of been going through my life lately, I've been realizing I often make excuses not to get things done rather than just trying to get things done. Guys, I have a good solid chunk of time right here before our morning team meeting. Why not try and execute on that? This morning when I was getting ready, I thought, I just don't have time to work out. Guys, I had time. I worked out, took a shower, got ready, all done before I had my coaching call this morning. I think it's just often that mind shift switch of, do I have time to get this done or do I not have time to get this done? And so often we're always saying, I just don't have time for that, where I feel like we actually are spending more time finding reasons why we don't have time than actually utilizing the time we have. How many times did I say the word time in the last 1 minute? Please go check. But this actually I think is so relevant and pertinent for the topic I wanted to talk about today, and that's on AR. And the reason why I think it's important is because so often with billers, they tell me, Kiera, I just don't have time for that. Kiera, I don't have time to get this done. And again, I've often wondered for myself and also for all of you, are we making up so many excuses rather than looking for the ways that we can get it done? I still to this day remember a podcast I did it's probably been 2 years ago now, with Paige. She was a hygienist, and she said, instead of telling myself I can't do it, why don't I look for all the ways I can do it and see, could I maximize these small snippets of time? So I really hope you guys when it comes to billing, let's think of how we can have time and find those snippets of time versus always saying we don't have time. I actually, we're writing a book, guys, surprise, like spoiler alert, but I was actually editing it on my flight. I'll be honest, that is probably one of the biggest things that I hate to do the most is editing. Tedious tasks drive me nuts, you guys. Honest to goodness, if you want to torture Kiera, make her go and do tedious tasks. And editing a book is wildly tedious. But it was interesting because I was writing in there and I was reviewing it's for office managers, and I was writing a section on there where I talked about time management and how I used to, when I first started consulting, I would have all of my coaching calls on every single day of the week. Guys, I literally got nothing done because my coaching calls were at such stagnant spots. It's kind of like a schedule. You know how you chunk a crown seat right in the middle of the day and at the morning and then at the end of the day, and you just scatter them all throughout the day. You feel like you were running around but really not getting much done. So I used to have all of my coaching calls on every single day of the week wherever the clients wanted it, and I had zero structure to my life. So instead, I had a coach and she said, Kiera, why don't you just have your coaching calls on maybe 1 or 2 days in the week? So it's interesting. That was Kiera 4 years ago. I started doing that. Coaching calls now I used to have them on Mondays, then I absolutely hated waking up on Mondays, and I think my clients did too. To now I do my coaching calls on Tuesdays. So Tuesdays for me, I know every Tuesday is coaching call day. I did coaching calls yesterday, right before I got on a flight to fly to an office. But to me, Tuesdays are coaching call days. So I think when it comes to billing and this whole idea around time, and also for any other position in the practice, maybe chunking your days so that way it's easier for you to know what you're working on that day. So today I really wanted to dive into what a healthy AR is. And reality is a healthy AR is something that should not take a lot of time if it's done correctly. Yes, I said that. It should not take a lot of time if done correctly. I have truly walked into some offices and I have seen where they have less than $1,000 sitting in their over 90 and they are a PPO practice. That is not a joke. I am thinking of this team member. I hope she knows who I'm talking about. And I literally told her, you are the most impressive AR I have ever seen. I have another one. This one's in Michigan. This team member just left their practice. She also had another insanely good AR. So you guys, it is possible. These people did not spend their whole days working on AR. They were not dedicated billers. They had multiple doctors in their practices, multiple hygienists. So please don't think it was one doctor, one hygienist, small practice. No, we're talking multiple doctors, multiple hygienists, PPO practices. So for all of you listening, these people had less than $1,000 in their over 90 and it was not taking up their whole day. I will tell you, for both of these two people I'm thinking of, both of them, one of them was both of them were the checkout ladies in their practice as well. So just to give you an idea, they just had learned how to maximize and be super efficient with their time and also making sure clean in, clean out. What I mean by clean in is insurance verification, guys. Get that clean in. Don't spend all day long doing it because guess what? It's never going to be perfect. I said that and I'm going to say it again. Insurance verification will never be perfect. We want to get as close as we can. But guys, there are some people who are working hours upon hours to get every single detail perfect. And I just think, oh, you're just wasting your time. That is a true, in my opinion, waste of time. This, I'm looking for 80% accurate. I'm going to have 20% I've got to follow up on. But that's okay because we have a process on the back end to follow up with our AR. So for me, I like my 0 to 30 sky high. I want those 0 to 30 to be high. I want it to be beefy because that means we're doing great production. 31 to 60, guys, I have it real simple. I do it 15, 10, 5. Okay, so 15% of collections is in my 31 to 60. 60 to 90, so 61 to 90 is 10% of collections, and over 90 is 5% of collections. Now, all of these could be less than. If you're already an overachiever, hey, here you go. You ready? 3, 2, 1%. So 3%, 2%, 1%. If you really want to crank this up. The reason I like to have these percentages on this AR is because it forces you to innovate and to think of how can I make this better. If I know I can have however much sitting in over 90, then guess what? I'm not going to think about my proactive side of making sure that my claims going out are clean. That way when they come back to me, they are clean. That way my over-the-counter collections are clean. I'm just going to sit here and always be fixing it on the back end. To me, that's very reactive and never proactive. So you're always going to be spending hours upon hours upon hours. In a multi-practice, I used to dedicate between 5 to 10 hours a week. Yes, 5 to 10 hours a week on all of our AR, and that's it. That was all I allowed for it, and we had 98% collections. So I'm giving you these metrics not because I think I'm amazing. I want to give you a standard to work towards. Now, if you are not that person, you are taking all day long, what I would suggest you do is you start chipping away the hours that you actually give yourself. Have you guys heard? But really, have you heard? And are you the type of person that loves to take massive action? Well, if you are, I would love to invite you to Dentally Team's Virtual Summit, April 22nd through 23rd. And yes, right now, guys, it's early bird. That means it's $200 off the normal ticket price. You guys are going to learn how to optimize your practice this year. We know it's been a rough year. People have quit. We've had COVID. We've had changes. So we want to teach you guys how to optimize within your practice now and execute. Friday is full team. Saturday is all things leadership. So bring your team, get some CE, take massive action. Head on over to thedentalyteam.com. Coupon code is Summit Early Bird, and it's valid until March 31st. That's Summit Early Bird, all one word, and it's valid until March 31st. So guys, head on over. I can't wait to have you take massive action, optimize your practice, and execute. Let's make 2022 your best year. Okay, these are I'm emphasizing a lot on this for you guys because I said the hours you give yourself. Yes, the practice might give you 30, 40, 50, 60 hours. I don't know. I don't know where you're working. Hopefully not 60 hours. That's crazy. Find a new job. But hopefully, sometimes I make myself giggle, guys. That one definitely made myself giggle. Don't work for that office. That's a lot. But the bottom line is if the practice is allotting you this much time, you whittle your time down and see if you can still keep the same amount of collections. There's that adage that says if you give yourself 4 hours to sharpen a saw, you'll take all that time. If you give yourself 30 minutes, you'll take that time. So for me, I like to squeeze down the time I'm allowed to work on this AR, less and less and less and less. And that way I'm able to do other things. So some billers, they'll get really scared. Kiera, if I'm not working on AR all day long, what am I supposed to do? The answer is there will be lots of opportunities for you to grow in other areas, such as insurance verification. Billers should be doing insurance verification, posting payments, and AR, and it should not take you all day long. Oh, guys, you might hate me. You might hang up the podcast right now. Guess what? Face it. I'm speaking truth to you because the reality is we all know we waste time. Oh, gosh, guys, I don't know what's in me. Maybe these quick 15 minutes that I had before morning huddle are forcing me just to speak truth serum because I only have so much time. I just want to say all of us waste time and all of us have opportunities where we can be more efficient. So I'm encouraging you and inviting you to take the challenge of how can you shrink down your time. The reason I love this idea of shrinking down your time you allot for your AR is because it will force you to innovate. It will force you to put into place a better system. You guys, when I first started out consulting, I could never have seen the number of clients I see today, nor run the size of business that we run today. I couldn't have done it. I did not have the space in my life. But by being more efficient, it allowed me as a person to expand and be able to take on other opportunities and grow in ways I never could have imagined. So for me, I feel like if you're taking all day long on AR, you're actually just limiting the growth that you as a person are allowing yourself to have. Now, if you want to, rock on. But I don't think most people like to stay stagnant. Stagnant is the equation of death. So if you don't want to be dying and want to be constantly progressing, let's shrink this down. So for me, I like it to be clean claims going out. I track if I'm having denials, appeals, resubmits, what insurance company it was and why. That way I can get smarter the next time I send claims out. Do I need to be attaching intraoral photos? Do I need to be attaching narratives? Get smarter, guys. Don't just keep doing the same thing you're doing claim after claim after claim. Also, you can have your hygiene team submit claims for you. Most of the times those are pretty clean and can just go right out. Of course, SRP needs some more attachments to it, but that's an easy way to start getting smarter and smarter and smarter so claims start coming back less and less and less not paid. Pay attention to why they're not paying and fix it the next time you send those out. Check to see, do we need to add new questions on our insurance verification? Do we need to fix our insurance verification process? Where are these claims getting stuck? So that way I love, and my suggestion is every single month, every account on your AR needs to be touched, and I like it to be color coded. I personally have an Excel spreadsheet for all of my offices, and they're color coded of what's going on. Statement 1, 2, 3, or 4. I don't like to send statements. Pick up that darn phone, call them. That way your AR gets less and less and less. You save a stamp and you save a tree. Call those people as soon as insurances don't pay and get that payment over the phone. Look to see, why do they have a balance? Did we estimate, or can we be better in the future? These little things are going to help you have cleaner and healthier ARs. And just get it done. Don't wait to enter checks. Don't touch the same claim 5 different times, guys. I say you touch it one time and you finish it. So if you're going to pick up that piece of paper, you better enter that check. We're not going to organize it. We're not going to file it. We're not going to touch it 3 to 4 times because that's extra time that's not necessary. What we're literally going to do is we're going to say, all right, I'm entering checks, and I'm going to go through and enter all of my checks. Then I'm going to, I print out all the statements for balances that would be due as I'm going through and entering checks. So that way it's literally just a whole pile of statements on my printer. I then grab all those statements, call all those patients. Hey, it's Kiera. I noticed we have a balance after that filling was done. Your total is $20. I can take a credit card over the phone. I'm ready when you're ready. Guys, try it because it's going to cut down your AR and cut down the amount of time that you need to be sending out statements. Any patient I can't get in touch with on the phone, those are the ones that I then mail those statements, and I only will mail out a total of 3 statements. I usually will text and email. Guys, text those statements. If you're not texting statements, again, that's an efficiency hack that you should be adding in. These little things are how you're able to get your AR less and less and less and stay on top of it. So that's in a nutshell what a healthy AR looks like. Those are some tips for you, also some benchmarks for you. So doctors, if you're listening today, go run that AR report and figure out how much is sitting in your 30 to 60, 60 to 90, and over 90 compared to those percentages I gave you, 15, 10, 5, or 3, 2, 1% of collection. So if we collected 100,000 and we're overly aggressive, it'd be 3,000, 2,000, 1,000 that's allowed to be sitting in that AR. All right. The next thing I would do is make sure you have your billing type set up. So ortho and payment plans can get your AR real funky. So stick those on a billing type. That way they're not sitting in that over 90, making it look sky high when the reality is those are being paid. These are some of the best tips I can give you guys on how to get your AR healthy and what a healthy AR should look like. So try it out. Implement something today. Even if it's shrinking down that time that you allow yourself to work on AR, it can drastically make a huge difference for you. So try it out. If you need help with this, if you need us to help coach you, guide you, give you some tips, set up those AR spreadsheets, this is what we literally do for our coaching clients. So give us a call. You can call us or you can reach out. You can call me, guys. My number is 801-885-5351. You can email us, hello@thedentalateam.com. We'd love to hear from you. And guys, get that AR healthy. Cut down the amount of time we're sending out resubmittals, denials, statements, because all of that takes time that if we could find a better system and be just a little more efficient, you would have so much more time to grow in other areas. So try it out. Take the challenge. And as always, thanks for listening. I'll catch you next time on the Dental A Team Podcast. And that wraps it up for another episode of the Dental A Team Podcast. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll talk to you next time.